Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Thank you, devotees. On this auspicious occasion of Bhagavan's 145th Jayanti, Seattle devotees are delighted to offer the following 12 names of Bhagavan with meaning, chants, bhajans, and a reading. Offerings are made by Rajesh, Vish, Sai Kumar, Harish, Sridevi, and Prabha. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
Tiraha, courageous. Facing all events with equipoise is courage in the true sense. Individuals are never free from perseverance. The pure seer Ramana is the embodiment of clarity and steadfastness. In his Jiva Muktananda Lahari, Adi Shankara praises the state of one who is calm in all situations due to the grace of the Guru. Om Dhiraya Namaha. Dakshinabhimukaha, one facing south. Even though it was not by design, Ramana usually used to sit facing the south. The sadhaka sits facing the north. The Guru's grace flows from his Satan seat. South means the right side. This indicates the spiritual heart which is located on the right side of the chest. Ramana envelops the entire universe rooted as he is in the spiritual heart. Dakshina also means intelligence. Hence, it might be said that those who turn their mind inwards through intelligent self-enquiry are receiving the help of Ramana for discovering the truth. Om Dakshinabhimukaya Namaha.
Swarat, self-luminous. Abiding in the self, he shines as the fullness of it. In his Arunachala Ashtakam, in the verse, Inraham enum ninnaivu, Ramana says that he who is seated in the heart, which is the ground, conquers everything. Om Swaraje Namaha. Maharshi, self-aware seer who proclaims the truth. Ganpata Muni, who has dedicated his life to tapas, surrendered to Ramana and accepted him as his guru. In view of his exalted yogic stature, the Muni called this young ascetic, who till then was known as Brahmana Swami, a Maharshi. Since then, Ramana became widely known in the world by this name. Om Maharshe Namaha.
Bhagavan, God. Bhaga stands for plenitude, Aishwarya, courage, Parakrama, renown, Kirti, beauty, Elil, knowledge, Jnana, and dispassion, Vairagya. Those who are incarnations of God are called Bhagavan. This name, which is pregnant with the meaning, was also given to him by Ganapati Muni. The inner circle of devotees always used to address Ramana as Bhagavan. He who is witness of the creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the world is termed Bhagavan. Om Bhagavate Namaha. Idya, worthy of praise. Those who bestow self-knowledge on those who have surrendered to them are really worthy of praise. Manikya Vachakar, while singing about the glory of the Lord Shiva at Parinturai, has said that it is only his devotees who have found the meaning of life who can set at naught the wheel of fate. Parinturai can also mean the vastness of consciousness. The Vedas too proclaim his glory through the chants meaning the golden-handed one, the Lord of 8 directions. Om Idyaya Namaha.
Bhuma Vidya Visharadaha, knower of Brahman. Bhuma is consciousness in which there is the fullness of perception. That alone is bliss. The rest is mere chaff. This was the teaching of Sanat Kumara to the sage Narada in the Chandogya Upanishad. Reference to this has also been made earlier. This Bhuma Vidya is the same as the knowledge of Brahman. The embodiments of such knowledge is Lord Subramanya. He not only abides in the auspicious Brahman, but also communicates this knowledge to seekers. It is the same Subramanya, the bestower of boons, who is before our very eyes as the comely Ramana. Om Bhuma Vidya Visharadaya Namaha. Vimalaha, flawless. One steeped in ignorance of one's true nature is bound by the impurities of the mind. Those who have uprooted this ignorance alone can be pure and free from blemish. Ramana's translation of the verse from Devika Lotaram, which says, "The abidance in the heart is pure silence." Know that the merging of the I in its source as it rises gives liberation. Om Vimalaya Namaha.
Dirghadarshihi, far-sighted. A mental perception is limited by time and space. One who has transcended the mind is not bound by space and time. Those who have crossed the mental barrier alone can be regarded as far-sighted. Om Dirghadarshine Namaha. Aptaha, near and dear. One who can befriend us in a situation where no one else can help is indeed a dear one. Can there be anyone closer than the Satguru, the indweller of the hearts of all? He is present within, pouring his grace. In dire need, he comes to the rescue, whether sought or unsought. He is the most intimate being, our very self. Om Aptaya Namaha.
Rujumarga Pradarshakaha, revealer of the direct path. Only an Apta, the dear one referred to in the preceding name, can be our guide for the straight path of self-knowledge. For he has traversed the path and can therefore lead us directly to the self. It is God as a Sadguru who draws one from within and guides the person to liberation. Om Rujumarga Pradarshakaya Namaha. Samadruk, impartial, constant abidance in the self without attractions or aversions in the world of the infinite variety is to be equi-minded. The true seer's vision is all-pervasive as he is aware of the essential unity in the multiplicity. The Bhagavad Gita extols such persons for their freedom from any difference. Those whose minds are externalized develop attachments due to contact with the objective world. In contrast, persons with in-tuned minds experience the truth that the seer, the seen, and the act of seeing are essentially one. Om Samadrushe Namaha. Karunarnavamai Karudagatinalhum Arunachala Shivamidam. The ocean of compassion abiding as the form of a mountain in this world and granting liberation even when simply thought of is this Arunachala, the form of Shiva himself. Buddhi ahankaram pulam vedavongum maddidayantan marayavanumalum nattavariyad nalankulaya annar maddiyolirannamalai inadumeye. What rose high and wide as an effulgent column of fire between Brahma, the Lord of creation, and Vishnu, the Lord of sustenance,
when they, unable to reach it as they had wanted, stood with their glory and fame challenged, is the Atman, the heart center, the intellect and the arrogant ego, unable to grasp it, come to grief. Brahma and Vishnu stand respectively for intellect and ego. Their futile effort refers to the impossibility of the senses to grasp that transcend them. While Arunachala externally stands for the effulgent hill, in reality it is Atman. Ittanuve nanam yenumadiyai nita buddhi idayattai purundiyahanokkal Advidamame ahachudar kankai bhu Madhyenu mannamalai chudar kanmeye. Getting rid of the mind that mistakes this perishable, insentient body as I, and turning it inwards to merge firmly in the heart, realize the effulgence within as the truth of non-dual, pure awareness. This is the truth of the beacon of light on the crown of Arunachala, the heart center of the universe.
Adaram maduram vadanam maduram nayanam maduram hasitam maduram hridayam maduram gamanam maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Vachanam Maduram Charitam Maduram Vasanam Maduram Valitam Maduram Chalitam Maduram Brahmitam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Venur Maduro Renur Madurah Panir Madurah Pado Madurau Nrityam Maduram Sakyam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Geetam Maduram Pitam Maduram Bhuktam Maduram Suptam Maduram Rupam Maduram Tilakam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Karanam Maduram Taranam Maduram Haranam Maduram Smaranam Maduram Vamitam Maduram Shamitam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Gunja Madura Mala Madura Yamuna Madura Vichi Madura Salilam Maduram Kamalam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Gopi Madura Leela Madura Yuktam Maduram Muktam Maduram Drishtam Maduram Sheshtam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Gopa Madura Gavo Madura Yashtir Madura Srishtir Madura Dalitam Maduram Palitam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram
Maduram Maduram Akilam Maduram Maduradipate Akilam Maduram 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 अखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरम् O Krishna, your lips are sweet and charming, your face is sweet and charming, your eyes are sweet and charming, your laughter is sweet and charming, your heart is sweet and charming, your walking is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming. Oh Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Your speech is sweet and charming, your nature is sweet and charming, your garments are sweet and charming, your tribe and form is sweet and charming, your walking is sweet and charming, your mystic is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming. O Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Your flute is sweet and charming, your dust is sweet and charming, your hands are sweet and charming, your feet are sweet and charming, your dance is sweet and charming, your friendship is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming. O Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Your singing is sweet and charming, your drinking is sweet and charming, your eating is sweet and charming, your sleeping is sweet and charming, your form is sweet and charming, your tilak is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming. O Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Your acts are sweet and charming, your carrying is sweet and charming, your stealing is sweet and charming, your remembrance is sweet and charming, your exuberance is sweet and charming, your calmness is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming. O Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Your humming is sweet and charming, your garland is sweet and charming, your Yamuna is sweet and charming, its waves are sweet and charming, its waters are sweet and charming, your lotus is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming. O Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Your gopis are sweet and charming, your play is sweet and charming, your union is sweet and charming, your liberation is sweet and charming, your glance is sweet and charming, your courtesy is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming. O Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Your gopas are sweet and charming, your cows are sweet and charming, your staff is sweet and charming, your creativity is sweet and charming, your breaking is sweet and charming, your making is sweet and charming, everything about you is sweet and charming.
O Lord of sweetness, everything about you is sweet and charming.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. The technique of vichara. The simplest things are sometimes the most difficult to achieve. When we try to shut out all the whims and fancies of our restless mind and to concentrate on the one chosen for a definite purpose, the mind fights desperately in order to resist control. It depends upon our will who wins this fight. Find out who is the creator of thoughts and you have achieved the goal. Such is true realization. But it is too mystical and needs relentless effort for its understanding. I began to work with Vichara for years before I met Maharshi, and the method according to his teachings is as follows. To immerse oneself in meditation, make a clear impression on the outer mind that the real self cannot be any transient thing such as the body, emotions, or mind. When this fact is strongly established without any doubt in consciousness, then I try to fill every possible moment with the inquiry, who am I? When any other thought enters the mind, one crushes it with the vichara. The more determined the perseverance, the better the result. The restless mind begins to give up the struggle. As I substitute every approaching thought with the magic vichara, the periods of absolute quietness become longer. At first, it is only for a few seconds, but with constant practice, there come minutes of unruffled peace. The most important thing is to catch and remember what was most helpful in reaching that peace of mind. I cannot describe that process in my consciousness because it is above and beyond the activity of the mind and therefore cannot be expressed in words, which belong to the mental realm. But each earnest student will have the same experience. Wherever I was, Vichara was with me, walking in the street, sitting in trams and trains, in fact, all day long, when my mind was not immediately engaged in some necessary activity. During the first months, I counted the inquiries, putting a number after each one. Who am I? 1. Who am I? 2. And so on. When circumstances compelled me to break the work, I noted the number in my memory, or if the break had to be longer, I wrote it on a slip of paper carried in my pocket for the purpose. For the first few days, the figure was 1000 was the highest. Later, 7000 and more became an easy mark. When I learned to fill every moment with vichara, excepting those of speech and compulsory mental occupation, the counting was discarded as unnecessary, for then the mind had learned to remember vichara automatically. The important part was not to repeat vichara with the mind, but to saturate each inquiry with a strong desire, without words, to know who am I. Then the results were peace of mind and a power to use it after my own will, as a force apart from the individual I. The average man believes in his ignorance that his body, emotions, and mind constitute himself. The disciple trained by a master overcomes this falsehood. And this is the turning point in his spiritual development, being a sine qua non for his progress on the path. Being under the dominance of his mind, the man is only a slave, and a realization is not possible for those enslaved by the mind or the senses. The spiritual aspect of vichara is also clear. In using it, you are seeking your legitimate inheritance, aiming directly at the very source of life. Other experiences made possible by the use of the inquiry, who am I, are given in other chapters. The whole problem of life is wrapped up in the vichara. Every religion and every spiritual master affirms that life in its essence is eternal and indestructible. But what is that life? Maharshi reveals, and the disciple realizes that eternal life is none other than uninterrupted consciousness. To reach that state means to reach the immortality of spirit, of reality. That is the goal and the ultimate aim. There is nothing else. Meditate upon this, and the truth will be made clear even to the outer mind. Such are the heavens promised to the righteous and the saint, as told to us by Christ. For them there is no death anymore. How clear now are the words of the great teacher of humanity. And from the other aspect, it is very clear why, for an undeveloped human being, there are and must be periodical interruptions in consciousness connected with this suffering and fear of death. If the highest level of consciousness in man does not transcend that of mind, and so it is for the majority of men, then this very factor implies incarnation in matter, Maya, and death, seen as transition into different forms with unavoidable temporary darkness and gaps in consciousness. But when our consciousness reaches the supramental realm, the realm of the eternal, unchangeable spirit self, the unchanging reality, then death is simply transcended and does not exist anymore. Now can be understood the truth of the sayings of the great Rishi when he denies reincarnation in the realm of spirit, but otherwise speaks about it as an established fact. From his point of view, both death and reincarnation are only illusions and do not affect the real self, just as our body is not affected by a change of dress. The Vichara throws light on every path. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who joined us. We now pass the celebrations to the next online satsang, continuing this joyous journey. Sarvam Shri Ramanarpanamastu.